The Ravagers, issue 6, written by Howard Mackey, art by Ian Churchill and Tyler Kirkham. Last issue left off with everyone finally coming together, being a team, saying, we are the Ravagers and we're going to go beat up Harvest and Nowhere, and we're going to kick all their asses. And this issue picks up with basically them in a training room, and it's Niles Calder over the intercom, and he's like, now I know this seems a lot like what Nowhere did, but it's not, because you guys can leave whenever you want, okay? Just remember that. You can leave whenever you want. And then he continues to talk to somebody else that we can't see, saying like, good Lord, I hope they don't leave, because I have no contingency on if they actually choose that. So whoever he's talking to says like, all right, let's just get a breakdown of everybody's stuff. More specifically, Superboy. Apparently Superboy was made as like the thing that could stop Ravagers if they rebelled. So he's like the backup plan, and he doesn't know much about Superboy in general. And then the rest of them, how they were not finished with their training and they weren't finished being like analyzed and such like that, so that Niles Calder doesn't really know anything about them. Beast Boy, he has something to do with the color red. It's the red, but they don't know that. No one knows how Terra's powers work, and Ridge is just like a genetic freak, and they really have no idea what the depths of his powers are. So at the end of this training thing, we see none of them are really doing well together. They're all kind of accidentally hitting each other until Superboy comes in and takes it down, just takes down the threat. And they're like, all right, well, decent run, guys. Maybe this time try thinking. All right, let's go again. And Caitlin's in the room, and she's like, no. They need a break. They're tired. I'm calling this. They're taking a break. And he's like, no, we gotta, all right, fine, whatever. I guess you could leave whenever you want, son of a bitch. And we see that the person that he's talking to is Tim Drake, Red Robin. And he's like, well, I'm trusting you because of your past success, but if you need anything, just call the Teen Titans. So anyway, we go to Venice Beach, California, where they say something about like how they're doing. I mean, it says here, I adopted some Nowhere tech to camouflage us, but like they also say that they could be a bunch of street performers. So I don't know how they're supposed to be camouflaged and also look like street performers. But regardless, Caitlin says like, go have fun, go do whatever. It's a relaxing day. And everyone's like, what is fun? And he's like, okay, you guys need some free will. We're going to work on that today. Free will, everybody. So they go out on their own way briefly. Caitlin and Superboy have a chat, just being like, oh, yeah, you're helping them make memories. Just like you kind of made me some memories. You remember that when you worked at Nowhere? And Caitlin's like, dude, do we have to do that right now? And he's like, guess not, but whatever. We'll talk about it. So he talks about him wanting to join the Ravagers. She's like, they don't trust you. And he's like, yeah, I know. And then that's it. Ridge, this is the first time he's really looked in a mirror, and he's like, dear Lord, I'm a freak. And Tara comes up being like, hey, no, we're all freaks. It's okay. Like, we'll take care of them, and then we'll figure out what's going on. And she, like, gets all nice and close with Ridge, friendly-like, but then Beast Boy's just like, that's my girl. What's she doing with that guy? And then all of a sudden, his arm freaks out for a second. And it says, see what's happening in Animal Man and Swamp Thing, a.k.a. the Rot World event, which doesn't make any goddamn sense because nothing happened to Beast Boy over the course of that series. Like, quite literally, he was fine. He was one of the few that was. So I don't get it. Anyway, they're like, Beast Boy, you cool? And he's like, yeah, I'm cool. That was just a one-panel tie-in. And they're about to order some food, and Thunder's like, oh, my priority is finding my sister, and that's the most important thing. But before he's even done talking, Caitlin's on the phone, because apparently Niles got a distress call that Nowhere is going after a new, like, meta girl, and they're going to kidnap her and kill her family. And they got to get in there first before that happens. And Caitlin's like, they're not ready. And he's like, well, maybe they shouldn't have gone on break then, you goddamn idiot. And so they get into the plane and make their way to Cypress Hills, Brooklyn, New York. And as they get out, they find where she is, and it's like, okay, maybe Caitlin should do the knocking since she's the only one that doesn't look absolutely insane. And as they make their way to the house, they're like, well, good thing we beat Nowhere here. And then they are proceeded to be attacked by Nowhere. More specifically, it is Windshear and Bright Eyes, who I believe were the two who escaped along with them at the very beginning of this book and then proceeded to go their own way. So that's a thing. Now they're working with Nowhere, and it's just like, hey guys, Nowhere made us even stronger. Do you want to join Nowhere? And they're like, no. Do you want to join us on the good side of the Ravagers? And they're like, no. And then they just fight. And it is a lot of back and forth. At one point, they're fighting Ridge, and they're like, come on, Ridge. You were one of the best Ravagers. You were really good at stealing children and killing their families. And everyone's like, Ridge, did you really do that? And he's like, I don't want to talk about it. It's a really dark time in my life. But either way, Superboy's about to intervene. Caitlin keeps him back, and they let the Ravagers themselves beat back Windshear and Bright Eyes. And they're like, we did it, guys. We took on 2 Ravagers. And Ridge is like, we took on 2 newbies, guys. And the fact that they were newbies means that the trainers are probably like already here. And lo and behold, we have Warblade and Rose, who are both here ready to attack. So, yep, that's a thing. I don't dislike this issue. I think like last issue was very clearly the wrap up of, okay, we're getting the team established. We're setting up like a base of operations. We're setting their motive for this. This is very much the, okay, here's their first outing. Here's their first going out, doing the thing. I like it. I think it's a solid enough little like, all right, this is good. This is just a nice little fight. I will say that in other issues that came out this week, more in particularly Superboy and Legion Lost, this is part of some weird thing where like those issues are coming after this whole arc. It's just a mess. I don't even know where to begin with it, but this one is the one that doesn't suffer from it. This one is telling its own thing, and I enjoy it. So I'm going to go ahead and give this one I'll give it a 7. The only reason I'm holding it back is the whole Windshear Bright Eyes thing just felt a little bit dumb, and the Beast Boy thing was like very dumb. Like it was literally one panel of, they may as well have just written out in plain text, please go read Animal Man and Swamp Thing event going on now, because that's all it would have been. So yeah, it's a 7. Not bad. Definitely not great, but not bad.